Hi, I'm Harvey Briggs. I'm the editor and publisher of Rides and Drives, and today I'm driving the all-new Nissan Z. It's not the 240Z, it's not the 370Z, it's just Z. And now for 2023, this brand new car has a brand new engine in it. It's got a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 that makes 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque, and that's put to the rear wheels by a 6-speed manual transmission. Yes, you heard me right. You can get this with a traditional manual or a 9-speed automatic transmission. Unfortunately, this one has the 9-speed. I can't tell you how good the 6-speed is yet. When I get a chance, we'll update it. But this 9-speed is a pretty lively transmission, so you can really run through the gears quickly and take advantage of this high revving, very, very energetic motor. So we've talked about the power. Let's talk a little bit about the styling. You'll notice on the front end here that Nissan has really channeled the original 240Z with this rectangular opening here. You also have these LED projector headlamps here, again kind of mirroring the shape of that original. You've got a nice power bulge on the hood, a very low roofline after this long hood, so it's very much in keeping with the original 240 up front. So we have this long hood as the traditional Z has, and then from the side you still mimic that shape from the original 240. The roof line slopes straight back into the hatchback and to this little ducktail spoiler here. Now this is the performance model. So you've got 19-inch wheels with Potenza high performance radials on this. You also have the sort of ground effect side skirt on it. And you do have this front lip spoiler as well on the performance package. You also get the high performance braking package with this, which you're going to want because this is a very powerful car. And if you're going to go anywhere near a track, you're going to want this brake package on it. So from the rear of the vehicle, they've really channeled the 90s era 300Z. You can see with these horizontal tail lamps here and just a little bit of a cleaner look. It's all, again, really meant to bring enthusiasts back to this Z badge by echoing some of their more famous models in the past. But the thing I really like about this car is, yes, they're bringing cues from the previous generation to this car, but it's really its own car. It's got this really nice chassis that they've done a lot of extra bracing to. You've got a double wishbone suspension up front. You've got a multi-link suspension in the rear. They've changed out the shock absorbers from the old 370 that they say is a lot more fluid and provides a lot better handling. I can feel a little bit of a difference. That's not huge, but the stiffer frame, it really makes a big difference in this car. And to show you what a difference it makes, why don't we go for a drive? So I can tell you a lot about the numbers, the acceleration, all that good stuff, but what really you want to know about the new Z is this. That's why you buy this Z. You buy it for that kind of acceleration, and you buy it for this kind of handling. It's really that simple. This is a tail-happy, fun to drive, tiny little two-door sports coupe, and You know, it really does channel the original Z in a pretty good way. Yeah, it's a ton more horsepower than the original. You've got 400. But this car feels very analog. Even though this one has the 9-speed automatic transmission, which frankly is a better transmission for the Pathfinder than it is for a sports car, and I'll get into that in a bit. It does everything you want it to do. The steering is direct. It feels properly weighted. The suspension is tight, especially in this performance edition. It handles really well. You've got this short wheelbase, the wide track. It really helps it rotate quickly and confidently in the corners. So it's a really well done execution, and it's really the first Z I've seen since the honestly, the 240 that I've really said, wow, I kind of want this. Even though it's built on the same platform as the 370 and it gets the styling right, they've added bracing to this to make it much more rigid. The tuning of this engine is perfect for this vehicle. It's a really good engine. I've always been impressed with it when I first drove it in the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport Edition. Excuse me. Okay, that was fun. You know, and they've done little things to the turbocharger and the way the air recirculates in it that keeps the turbocharger spinning after you lift, so that when you put your foot back in it, the power's right there. Let's talk about this 9-speed transmission. I haven't driven it with the manual, and I'm going to tell you I 100% know that I will prefer that version. This 9-speed, left to its own devices, it hunts a little bit. The shifts are slow for a performance car. You know, you have to wait a bit. You know, there you go. That was a bump, shift. It wasn't as really right on as I would hope it would be for an upshift like that. So if you're really going to buy this thing and want to drive it on your back road for performance, you might want to look at that 6-speed manual as opposed to this 9-speed automatic. The shifts are going to be a lot more in your control, shall we say, than they will in this, even with the paddle shifters. The high point of this car is the handling. It is spot on. The steering is really nice and direct. The suspension is well tuned for performance driving. This car is loud. You can tell it just doesn't have the overall sophistication of, say, Supra, which obviously with its BMW bones, it's a little quieter, it's a little more refined, but that's okay. I like the unrefined nature of this and the way it really just kind of begs you to have some fun with it. Interior on this is what you would expect. It's very sporting. The seats are comfortable. This is the performance edition, and these seats really hold you in well. You've got this fake suede insert that grips. You've got nice leather bolstering on the sides. They're modestly adjustable compared to a typical car seat now, where you've got fore and aft adjustment, you've got your back angle adjustment, and then a couple of manual adjustments for seat height and for lumbar support, but that's it. So it's again pretty minimalist. They've done a lot of things like that to keep costs down and to keep weight down in this car. So not only do you have things like an aluminum hood, doors, and the tailgate that help keep weight down, but they've used magnesium in the transmission housing, and that takes 44 pounds of weight away. So there's a lot of little things that they've done to make this feel lighter, more nimble, all that good stuff that you want in a little two-door sports coupe like this. Pricing on the Z starts at $39.90, and that's for the Sport Edition. That comes with 18-inch wheels and tires and the standard brake package. You go up to this Performance Edition and you get some of those interior appointments that I talked about, the seats. You get a larger touchscreen here. It's 9 inches instead of 8 inches. And the Performance Edition is $49.90. I haven't seen mileage figures on this, but frankly, I don't care. The couple of days that I've had it, I've driven a little more than 100 miles, and I'm averaging right around 17 miles per gallon, but that's doing stuff like this. You're not really buying this for mileage. Let's face it, you got a 4-liter twin-turbo V6 engine in here. And what you care about is how it goes, not how little fuel it uses. It is a little noisy in terms of road noise. If you're on the freeway, the expansion joints just kind of boom right through the cabin. Again, that's a compromise you have to make for a performance car that doesn't have adaptive suspension, that doesn't carry a lot of sound deadening, because that adds a ton of weight to the vehicle. So, what you've got is a vehicle that is built for the type of road I'm on right now, which is a fairly well-paved, winding back road. This is not a freeway cruiser. This is not a grand tourer. This is a purebred sports car that's meant to be flogged on a back road or taken to the track for fun on the weekend for your track days. And yeah, you can drive it to work, but that's not going to be where it's at its best. And I guarantee you, if you live where I do, you're going to want to put this thing away for 2 or 3 months in the winter while the snow is on the ground. So that's the all-new 2023 Nissan Z. Tell us what you think in the comments. For more information, check out ridesanddrives.com and make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For Rides and Drives, I'm Harvey Briggs, and I'll see you somewhere down the road.